welcome back, guys. I know yesterday's video while making it, I said I was gonna go over it all. I didn't get to it all, uh, so I guess this is a part two. Going over the weapons day, the balances of what Amazon or New World deals are considered a balance. They've reworked a lot of weapons in their master lines, so we'll just get into it, read it up a little bit, and see what I think about it. Maybe I can get y'all's opinions on it down below in the comments section down below. We'll see how it goes, though. I want to zoom this in a little bit so maybe y'all can follow along. If not, that's fine. If y'all just want to sit here and listen to me talk about it, because I'm going to probably go over this line for line and then probably give my final thoughts on it. So let's do this. So they're starting out with the balance, and that's why I said they call it balance. I've yet to read all through all these, but I hit up on some ones I was interested in. It says, we made major updates to every weapon and their mastery lines to continue to push the ability differentiation between each ability and clear primary focus. By giving each ability a clear primary focus, as part of this, we have increased the total mastery choices per weapon from 32 to 38 to allow for more even options to tailor your fighting style. Now, just based on that, I'm happy with it. It seems like, to me, it seems like if you max out a mastery line, you're going to pay off an end. Because during the preview, I actually had like certain on this mastery line, maybe a skill on this mastery line and a skill on this mastery line that I wanted to incorporate. But if you max out one side, I think it's gonna be awesome. If you get like some type of added bonus at the end of it. And they also said they increased the weapons perk points from 32 to 38, which is awesome because in the preview I felt myself not have, like, always saying, I wish I had just a few more points. Wish I had just a few more points to put in this, which you couldn't. But hopefully, doing this 6-point upgrade will give you those points that you need to feel like your build is complete, in other words. So let's hope it. Now let's get into the weapons and break down this weapon stuff. So they're going to start off with the sword. Rename the 2 mastery lines from sword and shield to sword master and defender. Which they do this throughout almost all these weapons. They rename the mastery lines. And if you remember, if you played the preview, you had 2 of them. In this case, the sword, the first time around, it was sword, and your other one was shield. So you had your sword attacks, and then you had like a shield bash, and I think a charge was one of them if you used a buckler. But now they've changed them up to sword master and defender. It sped up light attacks, added a 3rd hit to light attack to the light attack chain. The 3rd attack I think is cool. Speeding up the light attacks. I think the reason they done that was to combat the speed of the hatchet, because the hatchet was so OP. If any of y'all remember in the preview, the hatchet was the biggest complaint between people that PvP'd, because the hatchet could stagger constantly. There was no miss penalty. If you missed somebody, you didn't slow down, you just kept going. You could chain attacks together with a hatchet left all day, every day, and you come. That's why the hatchet in the preview was meta and or OP. I shouldn't say meta, but OP, and people complained a lot about it. So I'm wondering if they sped up the sword attack to give the impression that maybe they didn't slow down the hatchet. We'll find out later on when we get down to read about the hatchet. Okay, the sword mastery line, which is what they rebranded it to, move leadership to the sword master line. Removed precision, final precision, keen blade, ultra keen, and killer advantage. Now that is perks inside of that master line that they have removed, but they added empowered stab, Achilles heel, precision, freeing justice, mobility, opportunist, critical precision, and confidence. Okay, now they removed See right here, precision. See that comment right there? That's all they removed. Precision, and then they went to fine precision. But look what they added. Precision. So maybe they removed it and was like, this is a bad move and put it back in. If that's the case, why even put it into update notes that you removed it if it's going to be back in the game anyway? And then they took out fine precision to put in critical precision. And then they added something in called confidence. I'm assuming that's confidence with your sword. Some type of maybe strength burst, boost, or something. Maybe a haste boost. You're not stuck in fear, immobile, basically. I don't know. A lot of this stuff's going to have to be seen. I've not seen it. I have not played the alpha. Like, all my experience is coming from the preview side. The week. The reverse stab, this was one it was in during the preview. Increased damage to 175%. I think it's like 125 or 150 maybe was the damage it was during the preview. Remove the first swing from the animation. So if you remember, you would do like a slash, and then you would kind of jump, swing backwards, and stab through the back. So they've got rid of that front slash. Now I guess you just turn and stab backwards. Or do you turn it all? Is it maybe something you just hit and he just throws the sword behind him from this stance and reverse it and throw it behind him? Like I said, leave to the imagination, right? Added a new upgrade, Tactician. On a successful hit with reverse stab, also sword cooldowns are reduced by 35%. That is a good thing, especially like say if you come in and use Whirlwind. If you was using a Whirlwind, which we'll get into Whirlwind next, it's the next one below. Spin it around, and you say you miss with the Whirlwind attack, and then you got to do a backstab, and you hit that backstab, so then it makes that cooldown 35% less time. That's kind of cool. So, but they're awarding. I'm kind of wondering how these will play out in PvP situations, because you're being rewarded on other mastery lines or skills, perks, whatever you have you. If you land a successful hit, but you miss, say, your other two, and you got a long cooldown on those other two, because say you're towards in-game or in-game skills, they usually take longer for a cooldown. Say you miss it, both of them, but you hit that one, right? You hit the backstab. Okay, so you got 35% cooldown on that, but you're being rewarded for stuff you've missed, right? It could go either way. It could be a good thing for PvE players that's not necessarily fighting other players, but if you say you're out in this massive mob and you're surrounded and you miss two and you hit that backstab, and that's what miraculously saves your ass from getting put on death's door or killed, you know, but you're still being rewarded for a miss any way you go about it. Okay, let's get into Whirlwind Blade. Remove current upgrades and added 2 new upgrades. Opportunity. Whirlwind Blade causes 20% rend for 5 seconds. Rend reduces the target's armor. That's going to play heavy into PvP as well. Tactical Strike. Whirlwind Blade reduces its cooldown by 10% for each enemy hit. If you got 5 people around you, you hit out 5 of them, you got half the time gone already. If we're working on a 100% basis, right? That takes 100% of the time to get Whirlwind to use again. You hit 5 people, that shit's cut in half. So, and if I remember, Whirlwind cooldown wasn't that long. So it's almost, if you hit 5 people or more, or 5 AI or more at the same time, you could pretty much look like a tornado going through that some bitch. Leaping Strike. Increase Leaping Strike leap distance by 2 meters and sped up the animation. Remove current upgrades and added 2 new upgrades. Final Strike. If you hit a foe below 30% health, deal 50% more damage. That's cool. But then again, does this also play into PvP? And I'm assuming it does, because it's a set stat on that skill, right? Cowardly Punishment. If Leaping Strike hits a target in the back, cause slow reduction target movement speed for 10 seconds. So if you was to backstab them or ambush and hit them, then they're slowed down for 10 seconds. But on the other hand, if they got a haste potion on them, they can take that haste potion and probably get back to full speed and then a little bit more. Maybe it depends on how much the reduction of the target is. So I can see Whirlwind Blade and its Cowardly Punishment being massive PvP, and a backstab. All 3 of those in PvP are going to be through the roof. They're all 3 good skills for PvP. Let's be honest about it. Because if you hit that backstab, or you hit that carried punishment, or if you hit that, if you hit 5 of them, like if you're trying to take over a town and you know how everybody gets mashed up in the center, you just do a whirlwind. Who knows? You might hit 6 or 7 people at one time. You might have a 60 or 70% cooldown buff knocked off that damn whirlwind constantly. But all of them is going to be massive PvP skills in my point of view. Now let's get on to the other side of it. The Defender Mastery line added new Ultimate Mastery. Defensive formation while blocking reduced damage to all other allies within 2 meters by 33%. This stuff is fucking amazing for PvE, but for PvP, there's going to be a lot of people pissed off because it looks to me, as of right now, sword and shield's going to be the way to go in PvP situations. Because you're going to have, if you have, say you got a team of 5 over here, just a ragtag team, right? A pub team. They just thrown together. You got 5 people. They don't ever play together. They ain't got their shit together. So you got your clan over here. Right off the bat. So it's 5v5. You got your 3 attackers, 2 defenders. Now you see a scenario I'm going for it, right? You got your 3 attackers. It's going to be fucking shit up. Especially your swords. You got your defenders that come in with this defensive formation. Within 2 meters. 2 meters is not massively far. But if you had, that's why I said 2 defenders. Because 2 defenders is going to be able to cover 3 attackers easy. And by doing that, if they stay inside those 2 meters, they got a 33% buff. On around them for damage resistance. That's the way I understand it. You might look at this and be like, no, you fucking redneck. It means this. Which is, it's plausible. Like I said, I just have to see it in action. But this, I think, is this is the way my mind's playing it right now. Follow me. Removed incoming resistance, blade fortitude. Added on with the shield, final blow, and defensive training. Changed barricade shield's name to high grip. That's just some of the stuff they've changed up, what they've removed and added. Let's go on down. Shield rush. Remove refreshing rush upgrade. Moved intimidate rush to final upgrade. So I'm assuming in the skill tree, the intimidate rush was higher. Now it's the last that you can open. You open up. Added 4 new upgrades. Improved rush on successful hit. All enemies. Oh my lord. All enemies within 5 meters are weakened for 4 seconds. That's another PvP upgrade. It can work on PvE as well. All these are definitely PvE, but when I say PvP upgrade, I can see it being used and causing a lot of salt in PvP. That's what I'm saying. It could come in clutch in PvP situations. Of course, it's going to come in clutch PvE, right? If you're, like I said, if you're surrounded, you run into them with that, then they're weakened for 4 seconds. If you can do that and then hit them with a whirlwind, I mean, who says you ain't getting crits after crits? You ain't hitting, you're hitting a lot of other AI enemies. You see what I'm saying? So all these are, when I say PvP upgrade, I'm saying it could be clutch in PvP situations. Whether it will be or not, we'll just have to, time will tell, correct? But this is just a way to see the way my brain is seeing it right now. Let's see, where was I? Okay, right there. Okay, Shield Bash. Added a new upgrade, Intimidating Bash. Shield Bash greatly increases threats and deals 100% more damage. Shield Bash, I don't think was real strong. Which is probably why I got 100% boost in damage. I think it done like maybe 20 or 40. I didn't play around with the shield a lot. If anybody did play with shield a lot, leave it in the comment below if you remember about what your average damage was with the Shield Bash at the time. Final Stand. Final Stand upgrade now reduces damage by a flat 30 for 8 seconds. That's kind of cool. It's like a Berserk mode, which I don't know why it would be in a shield and sword, because most of you Berserkers in any MMO games, which Granted, you can't compare this to other MMOs because it's not that game, right? Most of your Berserker stuff though is usually like hatchets or axes. You're usually a thrower or some sort. Throw hatchets or use axes or use hatchets, right? So that's kind of cool. Might be a cool aspect on the way they done the sword. Putting a Berserk style in it. Reduce cooldown from 120 seconds to 45 seconds. Holy shit. So instead of 2 minutes, you got that motherfucker in under a minute now. It goes from 2 minutes to under a minute. Whew. Removed endurance stand. Added new upgrade. Final countdown. If your health is above 50%, damage reduction increased by 20. So, okay, so if you're not following along with this and you're wondering why Final Countdown or Shield Bash is under Final Stand, remember me talking about the offshoots of each skill? That's what that is. So what you do is you'll get the main perk of Final Stand, but on an out skill tree of it, you'll have a thing like Final Countdown, or Final Countdown in this situation. So that's what that is. So you can pop that. You don't have to use it as a final stand. As a here, it says if you're above 50%, damage reduction increased by 20. So say you're at 60%, but say you got 2 more enemies or 3 more enemies that are almost full health and you're having a hard time taking them down, like they're maybe above your level, or if you're in a PvP situation and they're just good at defense and stuff like that, and you're going to have a hard time, but they're doing damage to you. Say you're at 60 or 51 or 55% health, you can pop that son of a bitch, and you don't have to worry about taking as much damage. And I'm assuming it lasts as long as however long. What did it say? Did it say 8 seconds? Now, on top of that, if you activate your final stand perk and you use and you got final countdown as an upgrade, right? So you popping it. So you got 30% damage reduction right off the bat. If you're above 50, you got 50% damage reduction in total. Could be good, like say if you're in a PvP situation. This one is not as OP in a PvP situation because it only lasts for 8 seconds, and chances are you may or may not get hit or even have to use it during that 8 seconds. But it is what it is. Added new upgrade restoration. Gain 15% health when final stand ends. So if you got both of these on there, and say you get this part, the final countdown, right? And say you went from 55 damage to 51 damage, you'll get 15% of your health back. Or say you're at 1 HP, but you survived that onslaught of attack, and then you get 15% of your health back. That could be a big changer, especially in PvE situations, because there's been times where I've killed somebody had like poison or something on me, from blights or something like that, or some type of debuff. It's making me lose health, and then die to that shit even though nothing's around me. That way, I get 15% of my health back. I'm surviving that 9 times out of 10 because it will pop at 1%, pop it up. Right, I'm going off if you make it to 1 health, right? 1 health, so it'll pop at 1 health. Throw 15% back in there. I'm not gonna sit here and do a bunch of numbers. Then you could pop antidote or a health potion to increase it more. You're gonna survive that situation as were before. You just got your ass handed till you fell over on death's door. Hopefully you had a buddy around you to get your ass back up. On to the hatchets. My baby's in the preview. Maybe my baby's in the game release when it fully releases. Most passive across both trees have been updated to be more conditional and unique. Berserk Mastery line, which I did use Berserk. I think I used Berserk, and I used maybe 1 or 2 skills from the Berserk Mastery line, and then I used 1 skill from the other one, or it was versed, whichever one. But here we go. Let's get into Berserk Mastery line. Added new Ultimate Mastery. Defy death. When you receive lethal damage, avoid death, reduce health to 50. Gaining mortality for 4 seconds, 60-second cooldown. uh, that's gonna be OP as fucking PvP as well, cause you get your ass beat on, you pop that shit, right? When you receive lethal damage, what that means is, say you go below 0 health or below 1 health to 0, right? You're dead. You're down on death's door. But if you pop that berserk before they avoid death, reduce health to 50, gain immortality for 4 seconds. So what that's saying is you can avoid death 1 HP to 0 HP. You gain mortality for 4 seconds, which means you're probably gonna be able to pop a potion. If you're paying real close attention, you're real good at PvP. You're paying attention to that health bar as you're fighting. You can pop that potion when you get that low, and you might survive it as long as they ain't still sitting there beating on you. You'll have to flee, of course, but pop that potion. Remember, in yesterday's update, taking potions no longer slow you down when you're navigating. So you could run full speed away from people while popping that potion. Got to keep that in mind, people. And I'm assuming, like, if you pop it when you got above 50 health, it'll take you down to 50 health. So that's another one of those things. Is it going to be useful in PvE situations? Maybe not. Not as good as it was in the preview. And the reason I say that is because if you say you got 1,000 health, right? Which I did. I had probably 3,000 or 4,000 health in the preview. I think. If memory best serves me, I need to go back and watch my YouTube videos, or not my YouTube, my Twitch videos, and find out exactly how much I had towards the end of it. But if it drops you from, say, 1,000 to 50 health, that's not going to be too good in an AI situation. To me, it seems like the best way to use Berserker, if you're at PvP or PvE, is when you're pretty much on death's fucking door, and you still got a lot of shit to fight. You can pop Berserker, run and pop a potion as you're fleeing. Hopefully that'll take you up above 50. Get out there. Remove Cull the Weak, Relentless Fury, Rejuvenating Kills, Iron Splitter. Added, Enraging Strike, Accomplished Power, Relentless Fury, Desperate Refresh, Against All Odds, Fortifying Strike, and Frenzy Purge. Removed Aim Throw as an ability to turn it into a passive that replaces block. With this passive selected, holding down the right mouse button, initiates aim throw, and each throw consumes stamina. Removed. I don't know why they put this in here if they removed. It says removed aim throw. Why? If that's no longer around, why would you even put it in here? What it done? What it was, you could use a perk, where you could throw hatchets. That's what I'm saying. Berserkers. It's on the Berserk Mastery line. You could throw it, but they took it out. But yet they explained it. Remove Purge, Quick Throw, and Power Throw abilities, and replace them with new abilities. So it's pretty much all these. Feral Rush, renamed from Sprint Attack. Remove Sprinting Grit, Sprinting Refresh, and Sprinting Wound. Added upgrade. Okay, here we go. This is some stuff they added back. Dispatch. If target is below 30% health, Feral Rush deals 20% more damage. That's awesome. Say you got some sword fighters in there, or bow fighters, or whatever, and it's in this pack of AI or people, and all of them are low. You can run through where and hit them with that damn dispatch, and it could kill a bunch of people because it's going to be dealing 20% more damage. Added upgrade, Crippling Strike. If you hit a target in the back, Feral Rush causes root, immobilizing target. So this could be better in a PvP situation than the sword, the Coward Strike, right? Where you hit them in the back with the sword. The only problem is, I don't see. If you notice the sword, I was like, oh, this could be a PvP upgrade. This could be a PvP upgrade. This. There was a lot more of those than they are in the hatchet side. I don't think hatchet's going to be too well for fighting with in PvP situations, especially if they reduced, and if memory serves me correctly, they did put out a post a while back saying that it was reduced on stagger effect. Now let's get into the Berserk side. Berserk now applies a flat damage bonus while active and no longer requires hits to be taken in order to work. Now I remember this, and I liked the hit thing, because if they hit you, you can go up, 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 and up. I was capping out 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 damage on them because I would take multiple strikes, and when I was in that berserk mode, I was just chop, 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 chop. It was, but now it's just going to do a flat damage bonus increase, and that's it. Kind of disappointed in that because I was a hatchet main. I think most people were hatchets. I used a hatchet and Warhammer in the preview. Like I said, I'll probably go hatchet and battle axe this time around. We'll see. Berserk speed renamed to On the Hunt. Berserking refresh now heals for 30% of max health when Berserk ends. That came in hand. That actually did save me a few times, and I think it's probably why I ended up running the hatchet more than anything. Like I said, I wasn't PvP player, but PvE. And when I would kill if I got the final blow on a AI when I was in Berserk, I'd get 30% of my health back. Added Berserk Purge. Triggering Berserk removes all crowd control effects. Stun, slow, root. So I'm assuming if you're stunned, if you're slowed, if you're stabbed in the back by a sword, or rooted, you can pop Berserk and it will remove the debuffs on you. Added new upgrades. Unstoppable Berserk. While in Berserk, you are unstoppable and cannot be interrupted. That's cool. Removed Immortal Berserk, so you can die now while in Berserk, apparently. Which I don't think you could before, and that's why it was so OP. Rage and Torment. Or Ragan? No, it's Raging, right? Rage and Torment. Perform 4 fast attacks, each dealing 80% weapon damage. Added upgrade. Aggressive Approach. Hitting a target grants 20% haste for 6 seconds. That's kind of cool. Added upgrade. Final Blow. Press the left mouse button to perform a final attack, dealing 115% weapons damage. Okay, so they have added Berserk more. I guess more stuff in Berserk because in real life, if you're going Berserk, PCP or meth, whatever, you can still die, right? Throwing mastery line. Okay, here they're into the throwing stuff now. Added new ultimate passive, persistent hindrance, successful throwing hatchets hit expand all debuff durations by 1. I'm assuming that's like your root stuff like that. Remove bloodlust. Bloodlust is one I'm used a lot. Added aim throw. Aim throw. Replace block with an aim throw. See, didn't they just say this was removed earlier? Or am I losing my fucking mind? Removed aim throw as an ability and turned it into a passive. Duh, dumbass redneck. So they didn't completely remove it. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, it deals 90% weapon damage. Hold RMB to enter aim stance. Each throw consumes 30 stamina. Critical throw. Thrown axes are now capable of triggering headshots or random critical hits. Also increases critical hit chance of all attacks by 5%. On fire. Heavy. Every third successful thrown axe is a granted crit. Motherfuckers hit good. The flick shots and stuff, they're going to be deadly with the hatchet. Rejuvenating crits. Successful crit hits with light attacks or aim throws regenerate 20 stamina. Refreshing throws, light attacks, and aim throws against targets with an active debuff reduces all cooldown by 10%. That's kind of cool. Expiration, all attacks deal 15% additional damage to targets with an active debuff. Boot and rally. Light attacks and aim throws regenerate 20 when hitting targets with an active debuff. Adrenaline Rush. Dodging within 2 seconds of triggering ability consumes 25% less stamina. That's kind of cool because the stamina usage on the game, if I remember, it was kind of high. I think you could only jump like 2 times before you was completely out of stamina. A render throw. No. Rending throw applies rend to target, causing him to take additional damage. Added upgrade target impact. Render throw increases 20% damage in 6 seconds if you are more than 8 meters away from target. Long range kills, I'm assuming. Added upgrade, opportunistic. Render and throw deals 20% more damage if target has another debuff already. Added upgrade, second wind. Using rend throw on a target with another debuff already applied causes rend throw to refresh 20% faster. Now remember, upgrades are inside the skill of rend throw. So you get the main skill of rend throw, and then you can click on these upgrades to upgrade rend throw to have more damage and stuff put on them. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. Social distancing, new. Throw an axe and dodge backwards, dealing 20% weapon damage and causing 15% slow for 3 seconds. That's kind of cool, but if you're dodging backwards after you throw the axe, the chances of you doing another damage with Ren is probably not going to be within 3 seconds. Added upgrade, quick power, increase your movement speed by 30 for 3 seconds if your target had an active debuff. Added upgrade, stay back, slow increase for 25% for 4 seconds. See, most of these, are they worth it? Maybe if you're just out AI, I don't see them coming in handy in a PvP situation. Infected throw new. Throw an axe causing 130% weapon damage and causing disease and weakness for 5 seconds. This one, on the other hand, might be worth it. Added upgrade, mortal power. Increase the duration of decrease. And disease and weakness to 8 seconds if target is below 30% health. Added upgrade, aerial transmission. Create a 3-meter disease area on impact that lingers for 3 seconds. That's kind of cool if people run through it or you throw it into a crowd. You can get a bunch of people in the center. So overall on the axe, I still think it's decent for PvE. Maybe PvP, maybe. Not as, in my opinion, not as good as the sword and shield. Rapier, this is one of the new weapons that they added in general. Flurry, animation sped up by 30%. A rapier should be blazing fast anyway, right? Non-critical damage reduced by 25%, which is cool because the rapier has that blazing speed, but in real life they're very flexible. As where a broadsword could go clean through you. A rapier can go clean through you, but the chances of the blade bending or warping in realistic situations is very high compared to a broadsword, correct? As long as they're both done proper, tempered proper, all that stuff, correct? General critical damage reduced by 35%. I don't know why it's so much higher, 35 to 25. I don't agree with that. Flurry can now be canceled by dodging. So you can dodge the son of a bitch. It ain't an automatic hit. I'm assuming that Flurry is going to be like a multiple attack, like a multiple stab attack. Increase distance of initial lunge, but remove the rest of the movement duration during the ability. Finish. Increase base damage over time, DOT. Damage over time. Consumption to 110%. Reposit. No longer has a 3-frame startup. Duration increased from 0.75 seconds to 1 second. Holy shit. Fletch will no longer cancel auto run. Will now correctly disable player collision during the entire ability. Ooh. Kind of makes me wonder what Fletch is. Evade will no longer cancel auto run. Invasion distance increase as follows. Forward from 1.3 to 1.5. Back from 2.0 to 2.3. Left and right 1.5 to 1.7 meters. Which I can see why the back is longer because you're probably going to do a back row, not a step back. As if you go forward, you're going to do a step forward. If you're stepping sides, you're going to step. Perk 3, change to evading. Change 2. Evading forward gains 15% increased damage on your next light attack for 1 second. Previously, this perk reduced cooldown 75% after heavy attacks. Evading forward gains 1.5 increased damage on your next light attack. Okay. So if you evade forward and do a light attack, you get a 15% damage increase. Not bad. Here's another one I'm interested in. Great Axe, which is another new ad I've not got to play with yet. New world. I need alpha key, please. Rename the Reaper Mastery line to Mauler, and name the Marauder Mastery line to Reaping. Reaping Mastery line. Added new Ultimate Mastery, Bloodlust. Move 30% faster and deal 15% more damage while looking at a foe within 15 meters. So they took Bloodlust off the Berserk and put it on the Great Axe. Or off the Hatchet and put it on the Great Axe. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool because, I guess, if you're a Hatchet, you're not necessarily bloodlusting, right? With a big ass fucking battle axe or great axe coming at you, a big old fucking chopper execution style axe, bloodlust was probably more up your alley anyway. Remove the following passes: empowered swing, resisted grit, painless wounds, unending slice. Added passes. Now this is stuff it just works it just automatically works. If anybody knows how passive works. Greed. Light attacks with your great axe give you 10% damage for 5 seconds. Max stacks 3. Executioner speed. Every 2 consecutive light attacks with a great axe grants 3 seconds of 20% haste. You move faster. I guess they had to explain what haste was. Critical gains. When you make a critical hit with a great axe, heal yourself for 10% of the damage done. Holy shit. 10% don't seem like a lot, especially out of 100, but if you got, or I'll say 100 damage, this is based on damage, but say you do 1,000 damage, right? 10% of that is what? 100? So you get 100 health back. And if you, I don't know what the max cap on damage done is going to be, but it could come in clutch. It's not going to be overly aggressive because it is a passive skill, but at the same time, it could come in clutch if you get a massive critical hit. Right? It was on crits, right? Yeah, it was on crits. Death's Embrace, Great Axe attacks. Great Axe attacks. Whew, that's a tongue twister. Against foes below 50% health, penetrate armor by 10%. That's cool. It's got a penetrating attack on decently healthy AI or foes in this instance. 50%. That's half your health. Frustration after one of your attacks is blocked, gain 15% damage for 10 seconds. Only one stack of this particular boost damage may be active at once. Does it have a cooldown on it? They don't mention no cooldown, so. Well, I guess your cooldown would be 10 seconds, right? You can only use it every 10 seconds. But 15% damage if you get blocked and you land a strike and you're doing a lot of damage, it could be a lot. A lot of damage boost. Keen Edge, critical damage increased by 15%. That's cool. That's cool. Critical condition. Great Axe attacks against foes below 50% health will crit 15% more often. That stacks with Death's Embrace. Feed. Great Axe attacks against foes below 30% health heal you for 10% of damage done. So that, and then that stacks with Frustration, right? No, not Frustration. What was it? Critical gains. Critical gains. So feed stacks of critical gains. Charge, renamed from Engage. Changed base ability to no longer scale with distance, which is cool as shit. In defensive replaced with new upgrade. Momentum. Charge deals 130 to 150% weapon damage based on how far you travel. So the farther back you run at them, the more the damage is going to be. So it's like a build up. It's almost like Juggernaut. It's a Juggernaut perk. Charge Swing renamed Unpredictable Strike. Unpredictable Strike deals damage increased from 110 to 130% to 150 to 175%. Reap renamed from Judgment Reach. Move to the Reaping line. Added a row 3 upgrade for reaping called Hunger. Heal yourself 30% of damage done by reap. That's if I do that right there, probably one perk that I'll run as soon as I'm able to equip it. Execute, renamed from Execution. Base ability now deals 30% more damage to foes below 50% health. Damage increased from 130% to 150%. Killing refresh replaced with new upgrade. Unstoppable Greed. Execution becomes unstoppable. That's cool. That's real cool. Mauler Mastery line. We're just now on the Mauler side. This is the second part. Whirlwind. Move to the Mauler line. Base damage reduction from 75% to 50. Whew, that's a 50%. That's not much. That's a lot when you're going down. Whirlwind. Move to unlock at row 2, which means you row 2 of your skill line. Strength of Whirlwind's removed. Unending Winds renamed to Gusting Winds and moved to row 3. New row 4 upgrade called Surrounded. If you have 3 or more foes around you, deal 20% more damage while in Whirlwind. Maelstrom. Move up to row 1. Gravity Well. Area of effect has been increased from 2 meters to 4 meters. That's cool. Always bigger the better, especially when you're not using a bow or something. Refreshing Well. Replaced with Unyielding. Allies gain 20% damage reduction while standing in your well. If you compare it with a sword and dude in the center, that son of a bitch, that's what. That's up. That's like, what, let's see, what was this one? 20, so that's at least 50, I think, because the other one on the sword was 30, I believe. Mauler's Fury. Marauder's Fury, renamed to Mauler's Fury and moved to the new line Mauler. Remove the following passive: Weakness, Restraint, and Pursuit. Added passives: Mauler Resolved Revenge, Center of Attention, renamed Enduring Pull to Gravity. Move Crowded Protection to row 5. Alright, now we're into the Warhammer, which was kind of self-explanatory as well. Or not self-explanatory, but was in the previews what I was getting at. Had a brain fart there. I was looking at exactly how long this video is, and it's 40 seconds right now, and that's without the intro and outro until I go into my editing magic. Most passives across both trees have been updated to be more conditional unique, with fewer passives that provide flat bonuses. Light attack sped up the Warhammer's light attack slightly. The second light attack of the Warhammer 2-hit chain has been updated and fits better with the flow of the first attack, so it's not goofy looking. Like, say, you go down, and instead of going down and then to the back or something, it's like a down, maybe a up, or a down and a swing back up on the side, and then into a swing or some shit. Modify the window between the first and second light attacks to make the transfer feel smoother. Juggernaut Mastery line adjusted to focus more on the single target damage. Crowd Crusher Tree Mastery line to focus on more on crowd control, debuffs, and dealing with multiple enemies at once. Removed Grit from automatically being added to heavy attacks. Grit is now unlocked via passive upgrade. Removed passives related to only Siege, as their functionality was specific to a single game mode. Remove passives that increase grit damage due to grit being modified to no be interruptible anymore. Removed all upgrades to abilities that added a flat damage across an AoE size increase. Armor Breaker, renamed from Block Breaker. Base ability now penetrates in percentage of the target's armor. Upgrades expanded on the ideal being unstoppable and weakening an enemy. Mighty Gavel. Animation update. Mighty Gavel now uses the old Path of Destiny animation. Removed reactions from Mighty Gavel to keep it from being a CC ability. Made the justice for all Mighty Gavel upgrade. Ultimate trigger off a button push instead of an automatic. Increase the damage of Mighty Gavel now that it no longer does any CC. Wrecking Ball animation update. Wrecking Ball now uses the old Mighty Gavel animation, so they just literally switched that the other one down to this one. The attack no longer channels multiple attacks after first hit. Added a flattening reaction. Remove siege related upgrade as it was specific to a single game mode. I think Wrecking Ball was where you'd come in for a big golf swing with that big ass Warhammer, and then what I would do, I'd chain it together with the I can't remember what it was. It was a double hit or a triple hit on the ground. You would hit them and then jump into them. I used to be the boss in the Ancients temples like that a lot. I would stand behind him when he spawned. I'd hit him, knock him out, and everybody else starting. And I'd come in with my hammer strike. Clear out. Reduce the knockback distance to allow for more actions to be done to enemies after using a crowd control ability on them. Previously, targets hit with clear out would be knocked back so far it was impossible to capitalize on the attack afterwards. Shockwave. Slightly sped up the startup of Shockwave. Removed pushback on Shockwave to make it easier to attack an enemy that has been stunned by the attack. Sped up the recovery of Shockwave ability to allow players to more effectively follow up on the hit and the stun it creates. Stun duration was shortened to account for equipped load modifications. See, this don't make no sense. They sped up recoveries and stuff for follow-up hits on stuns, but then they shortened the stun duration. Removed the upgrade that increased the range of Shockwave and made the upgrade range the default. Path of Destiny. Animation updated. Path of Destiny now uses the old Wrecking Ball. They just switched all these animations around. They're not new animations. They just switched those three around. Path of Destiny now pushes back directionally based on the attacker's position. This will prevent enemies from being pushed random directions on hit. Path of Destiny no longer has a full knockback. Now the skill damages does a small pushback and has an upgraded option to stagger targets on hit. Adjust Path of Destiny area of effect AoE to be able to hit targets closer to the player. That's cool. Remove the upgrade that increases the area of Path of Destiny and made the upgrade range the default. Spear something new. How much more we got to go? This is the bow, musket, fire staff, and then what? Life staff finishes it off. Let's see, where was we was just on spear, wasn't we? I'm probably going to have to just hit like what they done and not go through it all anymore because we're over a minute and I still got a lot of stuff I got to do today. But we'll just hit up this part and then we'll go on. We won't necessarily go over what they do perk wise. We'll see what they added and removed. Remove potent thrust defensive adjustment. This was Spear's new weapon added into invigorating kills and refreshing bloodlust passive. Added refreshing reach, precise jabs, invigorating crits, evasive maneuvers, defensive stance, strong conditioning, cripple jabs, aggressive maneuvers, and exposed wounds passive reduction. Exposed wounds passive. Reduction pushback on light and heavy attacks. Reduction delay between attacks and a light attack chain. Standardize the pushback distance between regular heavy and fully charged heavy attacks. Daily reach now increased crits chance by 10% instead of increasing damage. Now, if you guys want to read this as we're going through here, I'll slowly scroll down. You can pause the video at any point and read it if you want to. The bow, we're at the bow now. Descriptions have been updated to include more information. Huntsman line renamed to Skirmisher. Bowman line renamed to Hunter. Remove smoke shot. Smoke shot was, it was alright. I did mess around with bow quite a bit. But it was alright. Added a new ultimate passive knee shot. All leg shots cost 30% slow for 4 seconds. Remove passives. Arrow range, headhunter, steady hand, shooter's hand, added passives. Catch me if you can. It's surrounded by 3 or more foes with 3 meters. You gain 30% haste. Impale, closing in, dodge and weave. Hunter's insight. Archer speed. Mark deal, battle precision. Like I said, if you want to read them, you have an opportunity to pause the video, save these down through here. I'll slowly scroll down as we go. There's penetrating shot, splinter shot, grenade. Oh, that spread shot, that was actually badass. It shot up to 3, and you get them real close to hit them all 3 arrows. It's badass. Musket. Most passive across both mastery lines have been updated to be more conditional and unique. So it seems like they've done a lot of conditional updates on the passives to be more to that weapon line that you're using. Removed the 1.5 times zoom passive and kept the sniper 3 zoom ultimate. We also balanced the zoom level to fit with the default field of view 5 and added a permanent headshot damage modifier to passive. Slightly sped up standard musket reload time. Removed the gun butt melee attack to prevent it from interfering with hip firing or reloading. There's not a melee no more on it. Remove sacrifice as abilities that trigger on death are too situational. If I ain't mistaken, I think sacrifice is where you fell down and you play dead. Made the sharpshooter tree passives focus more on ranged combat and greatly rewarding accuracy by providing more benefits for headshots and consistently hitting targets. Made the trapper tree's passive focus more on movement and debuff targets to allow for more options when closer to enemy. I don't see a musket being PvP. PvE, definitely. All these are PvE, perfect for PvE, but I just don't, yeah. Rename Flame Summoner Mastery Line to Fire Mage. Rename Pyromaniac Mastery Line to Pyromancer. Outriders, shout out. Siege has been removed and replaced with Fireball. Again, all the stuff. Pause if you want to read it. Holy shit. Right there, though. Whew. Lifestaff. Update all description to include more information. Rename Protector Mastery Line to Healing. Rename Life Stealer Mastery Line to Protection. Remove Holy Shield, Speed of Light, Healing Pulse, Siphon, and Smite abilities. This was another one a lot of people was complaining about because of the I can't remember what it was called, where you could just dart for mana usage. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of the crafters liked it though, because it could get you from one place to the next decently quick. All right, well that's the end of all that, guys. My final thoughts. I like where they're going with it. A lot of stuff I agree with. Some of it we're gonna have to see how it's gonna play out. Not gonna lie, we're gonna have to see how it's gonna play out because some of it, I'm just gonna have to see it in action. What I thought could be OP for PvP may not even be PvP situational. Right? All of it definitely is going to work on a PvE situation, like I said before. But I just hope that they don't do another pushback or a delay when August rolls around. Their next month or month after next, if they do another update, I'll get back on, make some more YouTube videos about it. Hopefully they're not as in depth as this one, and I don't have to. This should have been broken up into more than just 2 videos because they were so long. We're almost an hour in me just talking. So I'm going to end it off here. My thoughts on it, though, I think it's going in a good direction, but only time will tell when we see how it plays out in the end, right? So I'll see you on the next video, and until next time, you fuckers stay classy. Peace.